China says it will retaliate against tariff increases from the Trump administration. After negotiations in Washington last week, President Trump insists that U.S. tariffs will hurt the Chinese economy.
Who pays? Who pays for the higher tariffs on Chinese imports?
So our country can take in $120 billion a year in tariffs, paid for mostly by China, by the way, not by us.
But Larry, that isn't true. It's not China that pays tariffs, it's the American importers, the American companies that pay what in effect is a tax increase and oftentimes passes it on to U.S. consumers.
Fair enough. In fact, both sides will pay. Both sides will pay in these things.
Tariffs do make Chinese goods more expensive, which can hurt China's economy. But the actual tariffs are a tax paid by U.S. companies that import Chinese products.
It's a tariff on goods coming into the country. The Chinese aren't paying.
No, but the Chinese will suffer GDP losses and so forth with respect to a diminishing export market.
On Friday, President Trump slapped a 25% tariff on approximately $200 billion worth of Chinese imports.
The problem is, with all these trade wars going on, there are absolutely no winners. So the U.S. consumer will suffer, as well as the Chinese economy and the consumers over there.
And is now ordering his trade representatives to start the paperwork to tariff an additional $300 billion. Basically everything China sends to the U.S., from cell phones to furniture.
And I think ultimately China will have to cave on this, because if they don't, what they risk is a permanent market share loss of their supply chain, which can move because the U.S. is a more adaptable country.
In the president's ideal world, everything is made in the USA, we export all over, and then that creates jobs and all of that. But that sort of looks past the fact that there actually are a lot of import-reliant jobs in the global supply chain. People rely on, bringing things in and building them here, selling them elsewhere. Manufacturing supply chains are global now.
In order to correct 20 years plus of unfair trading practices with China, as I said, unlawful trading practices, I think this is a risk we should and can take without damaging our economy in any appreciable way.
Wall Street is bracing for a U.S. trade war with China that would hurt American companies, farmers, and consumers. A sharp decline in the Dow Jones Industrial Average is expected this morning.
Global markets rattled today by uncertainty as President Trump threatens to impose higher tariffs on China. The market's responding to new fears that China and the United States could now be headed for an escalated trade war.
Financial markets on edge this morning after the president imposes new tariffs, threatens more, with both sides far from a possible deal.
How long is President Trump prepared to wage this trade war with China?
I wouldn't want to put a timetable on it. I would just say, as he has tweeted and has said to us and said to the Chinese, we're continuing our discussions. That's a very good thing. Negotiations, over time, stop, go. The speed may be fast or the speed may be slow.
This is going to be a period of cyclical pain for everybody. And there's no winners right now, because the talks are going to escalate. But will Trump's bark be as loud as his bite? I'm not sure about that.